here. We're having fun. I'm feeling silly.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
I thought you were talking to me for a second. I was like, I did.
Hello. Are you going to listen to a podcast?
Good, Anna. I'm glad to hear that.
Scary.
Is it creepy me
podcast?
talking over the thing?
Should we just stop doing
Your
that?
favorite scary podcast?
I don't know. Should we?
Okay.
Well, it better be
Let's still
Guide
talk.
to the
Well, we
Unknown.
don't usually talk.
5, 4.
Hello. Welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William.
And this week we are talking about Skull and Bones, the secret society of Yale.
It is Yale.
Yes.
Aha. Okay.
Uh-huh.
In some of what I was looking at, I couldn't tell, like, the deliberate ambiguity
Yeah.
that a couple of movies were toying with.
Well, I think that they couldn't say it or something. So in the movie The Skulls, which I'll be talking about, they're just like Ys all over this university that's in Connecticut.
Okay.
But the actual secret society is at Yale, yes.
It's funny that for the rights to, like, make a movie about a secret society set at Yale, they can't say, we go to Yale, but they can go, we're in Connecticut and our university begins with the letter Y.
Yeah, I don't know why.
They can dance around it. They can lead you to the answer, but as long as they don't outright say it.
Right.
So bizarre.
It's very strange.
So yeah, we've talked about secret societies before. We did it way, way, way back. We talked about a couple of secret societies called Cicada 3301
Yeah.
and the Jejune Institute.
And the Euclidean Society.
That's right. Yeah.
Very far back.
That's right. It was like in the beginning
Right.
of Guide to the Unknown. But I did look into what secret societies are in the first place, and I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So, for one thing, Wikipedia makes a point of saying that there are countries that ban secret societies that have any political influence,
Okay.
including
Not here.
Italy and Poland. Yeah, not the U.S.
Yeah.
You can have a secret society that has a political bent to it and gives out political favors.
Oh, yeah.
That's completely fine here.
George Bush and George Bush Jr. are both Skull and Bones.
But would
But,
they...
not confirmed, but,
Yeah.
wink.
I'm really excited to hear more about what it is. They sometimes have racist agendas.
Yeah.
A lot of them seem to believe in this idea of the New World Order, which is the insane idea of, like, the Jewish people are taking over the planet.
Right.
It seems to be at the core of many of these secret societies.
Yeah.
But then they say this, which I think is cool. Anthropologically and historically, secret societies have been deeply interlinked with the concept of the Mannerbund, the all-male warrior band or warrior society of pre-modern cultures. So it's all like men's rights
Oh, my God.
clubs type stuff. And then Alan Axelrod, author of the International Encyclopedia of Secret Societies and Fraternal Orders, defines a secret society as an organization that, 1, is exclusive, 2, claims to own special secrets,
Okay.
3, shows a strong inclination to favor its members. So you might want to join a secret society because there may be powerful individuals who might help you get a job, or you can curry favor from the
Right.
higher ups and they all look out for their own.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. Historian Richard B. Spence of the University of Idaho offered a similar three-pronged definition. 1, the group's existence is usually not kept secret, but some beliefs or practices are concealed from the public
Yes.
and require an oath of secrecy and loyalty to learn.
That seems to be the case with Skull and Bones.
It's weird that you can have
Or not anymore, really, even. It's really that some practices are secretive, but yeah.
they're fine being known that they exist.
They're fine you know that they exist, and they even have a roster of the members that's
Oh, they-
printed yearly.
Publicly?
Yes.
That's very weird.
Yeah. Like, it's in the Yale Rumpus.
The
Which is
Rumpus?
Yes, that's the Yale newspaper.
Wow.
I know.
I've got to pick up the Rumpus.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that if we all agree that what a secret society does inside is often unusual and can, be politically motivated or, discriminate against people of different races, religions, genders. Again, these are like fraternal organizations mostly.
Right.
They're mostly men only. It's weird to be like, publicly, here's a list of everybody who's in it.
Yeah, I mean...
But you can't find out what we're doing. And the implication, we all agree, is you're up to something scummy.
Right.
something, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's really just giving each other favors based on being in this club. And you being in this club is based on having certain qualities that are like attractive to it. So they started publishing the names, I think, in the 90s, and they also started letting women in the 90s.
Oh,
So
okay.
perhaps those two things coincided. I don't have the facts on that, but it, they opened her up a little bit, and apparently there were some people who were super pissed about that. But some people were like, yeah, whatever, it's fine.
That like Woodrow Wilson was
Yeah.
rolling.
Oh, absolutely.
So are you implying that women were allowed to join and a woman immediately went, we should publish a yearbook? Is that
I wasn't, but maybe.
you're like, those two things may be related. I'm not sure.
No, I'm saying
You
maybe
know how
that
women love
yearbooks.
yearbooks.
No, maybe they're related because they didn't have to, like, they wouldn't want to show off that they're men only and so exclusive.
Right, yeah.
And so if they have a little bit of diversity to push forward, it's a little bit less iffy to show people what your deal is. Because
If you're so
they can't
afraid-
point at you and be like, it's only men, it's only white people, or whatever.
Yeah, but of all the things to be afraid of, there's still the you're up to something angle that you might want to
They're
skirt
not even
around.
really up to something.
They are up to something.
Kind
they're,
of, but,
they're,
like-
they're scheming and conniving to get like.
Each other.
Do you have any idea who my father is?
Yes, it's that.
It's that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which isn't,
But I think that's rampant. I mean, you're talking about a college setting in the first place anyway. Like, alumni is such a big thing.
Yeah.
This is really a hop, skip, and a.
Yeah, it's true. But like, I don't know. It's just weird because the implication is that they are pulling strings.
Yeah.
The implication of the idea of pulling strings is that maybe people didn't earn something.
Right.
So they're publicly posting lists of people who didn't earn what they have. You know what I mean?
Or,
It's weird.
well, they're people who are aspiring to not earn what they have because
Right.
you can probably get into Skull and Bones because you know somebody, but it's really like, apparently they're looking for people who have leadership qualities.
Okay.
Because hopefully people who have leadership qualities are going to eventually be in positions of leadership.
Right.
And then they all help each other out.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily yet earning a spot or getting a spot that you haven't earned to get into Skull and Bones. That is the aspiration once you're in Skull and
Yeah.
Bones, that you will then perhaps get to do things that you haven't necessarily earned.
Yeah, you'll just get stuff.
Right. So revealing the roster it's not that big a deal, I don't
Just
think.
it's
The whole
weird.
thing's weird.
Weird and a little tacky.
Yes.
So here are some of the other things according to Richard B. Spence. The group promises superior status or knowledge to members. The group's membership is in some way restrictive, such as by race, sex, religious affiliation, or invitation only. David V. Barrett, author of Secret Societies from the Ancient and Arcane to the Modern and Clandestine, has used alternative terms to define what qualifies a secret society. He defined it as any group that possesses the following characteristics.
Okay.
It has, quote, carefully graded and progressed teachings. The teachings are available only to selected individuals. Teachings lead to hidden and unique truths. Truths bring personal benefit beyond the reach and even the understanding of the uninitiated. So it really is like, even if those truths aren't real,
Right.
Like that makes me think of like, a lot of this does make me think of like Scientology, something
Yeah,
like that,
it's culty.
or a lot of religions,
Yeah.
where it's like if you're part of this organization, you'll know what's really behind
Yeah.
reality, the afterlife, or
Yes.
whatever. But anybody who's not part of this group, they just don't get it.
Right.
They wouldn't
Holding
understand.
back that
Yeah.
sort of information until you are part of this
Yeah.
is very culty and, yeah, religious.
So David V. Barrett goes on to say that a further characteristic common to most of them is the practice of rituals, which non-members are not permitted to observe or even to know the existence of. Barrett's definition would rule out many organizations called secret societies, such as college frats. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just kind of interesting to like, I don't know, see how intellectuals appear to qualify
Yeah.
what is and is not a secret society.
What exactly this is. William, did anybody tap you for any Rutgers frats
No,
while you were briefly
nobody gave a shit. They did not care about me or anything. I did see. I never went to a frat. I've never gone to a frat party.
I have, I guess. I don't know. I went to something that was in the basement of a frat house at Rutgers.
At Rutgers?
Yeah, it didn't feel like a frat party, though. It was like a weird basement with like blacklight stuff everywhere.
Do you know what Demarest is?
No.
So Demarest is one of the like, I don't know, buildings, whatever, where you stay. A dorm.
Oh, okay.
And couldn't think of anything. But so I think there's a bunch of like artists in there. So in the basement of Demarest, which I went to maybe 2-3 times tops, there's one room where it's covered from ceiling to floor with like graffiti and doodles and artwork. And I was always told, like, they were like, yeah, some of the artwork in here is done by some of like the leading artistic minds of, you know, there's this artist from the 70s, you know, doodle the smiley face.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I listen, I did not enjoy college.
Yeah,
I did not have good
Mario
experiences.
Batali worked at Stuff Your Face. Tell me another one.
Yeah, kind of. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't care.
Stuff Your Face is a restaurant in this college town we're talking about in New
Yeah,
Brunswick.
I was just like, this is like, I don't know. I love hearing about like the sort of like lore of a place and a history, but for some reason when it's around college and idiots,
I don't
It's
feel like
like-
that counts as lore to me.
a bunch of like 18-year-old dum-dums
Yeah.
just congratulating themselves, I'm not impressed with it.
No, that's not cool enough to be called lore.
No.
That's just some stuff that happened in this dorm.
Yeah. Oh, hey, new YouTube show, Lore or Snore.
Oh.
That would do very well.
It probably would do
Yeah.
well. So do you have other things to say about like the origins of secret societies or whatever?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Skull and Bones.
Yes.
So until I started doing this research, I forgot that members of Skull and Bones are called bonesmen. Did you know that?
The Bonesman. Yes, I've been thinking of becoming a bonesman.
God. So yeah, it's a secret society at Yale, but it's not really secret because, like I said, the members' names are published, and it has a lot of overlap with fraternities and sororities because you know how they talk about like Rush for
Yeah,
frats
Rush
and
Week.
sororities? There's something called Tap Day in the spring. And that's when new members are tapped, like,
Get
you
your
know,
tap shoes,
invited or
boys.
whatever, and asked to like try out for Skull and Bones.
Who'd like to be a bonesman?
Yeah.
This is
So do you think that what's this man's name?
Tim Curry?
No. Well, yes,
David Bowie?
but no, the voice you're doing for the character from Illuminati.
Oh, nobody knows what this is.
But what's his name?
The Magister Blackwell.
Magister Blackwell. Will
I wrote my first audio drama.
Yes.
Was called Illuminati: Night of the Twisted Men, and it starred Kristen.
Yes.
The premise was, because we had our own little podcast network back then, Bobby and I, you came to us with a story that you wanted to cover, and we were like, I don't know, go and do it yourself.
Yeah.
And you were investigating a series of murders, and I played like 5 characters
Yeah.
to get it done, but one of them was Magister Blackwell, who talked
He talked like
this.
that. Yeah.
Come at me, bonesman.
So what
Good luck trying to get me.
is it now canon that Magister Blackwell was part of Skull and Bones?
I'm a bonesman.
It sounds like he's a bonesman.
Amateur bonesman. That is weird. That is my first audio drama.
Yeah.
It was written primarily, if anybody's curious about it, I'll drop a link. Why not? But it was my first attempt at doing something like that. I had to do like all the effects myself before I
Yeah.
knew how to do stuff like that. And it was constructed primarily to play off of inside jokes from shows we made a decade ago. So
Yeah.
I have no idea how it'll play.
Yeah, I don't
But
know. So yeah, it became unisex in the 90s. Before then, obviously men only. And I found just like a page with basically a paragraph about it on the Yale Visitor Center website. Because there's a Women at Yale tour, and the tomb of Skull and Bones is a stop at it. And this is what it said on the website about it. In 1992, when the still exclusively male secret society tapped 6 women along with 9 men, the Alumni Association changed the locks on the doors.
What?
After a short standoff and society vote, both men and women were finally admitted. So a bunch of chodes heard that women got tapped and locked the doors so that they couldn't get in. How lame.
Childish. And how long could that standoff possibly go on?
I know.
You're going to have to go to the bathroom sometime, boys.
Right, and you've also locked out all the cool dudes that
We'll
you
do it in
tapped.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's lame.
It's so stupid.
Lame and stupid.
So yeah, so that's, I mean, honestly, the basic gist of Skull and Bones we pretty much alluded to. It is a club for members to kind of like hobnob with each other and also former members, alumni or whatever, and they are going to help each other out once they're out of college and in the real world. So
Right.
they're going to help each other get jobs. That's mainly the thing. Help
Do they
each
have to,
other to
like-
get jobs.
Do they have to like flash a sign, or do they? Is it like Marvel? They have to go like Hail Hydra to like know that they're in
So-
on the same club.
So I actually couldn't really find stuff that was like factual. Well, I mean, who knows factual anyway, but
I'm a bonesman.
no, they have like dark imagery and rumors of dark rituals and stuff. So obviously it's called Skull and Bones. Skulls and Bones play into it. Their place is called the Tomb.
Yeah.
I, because of having seen the movie The Skulls, which I will talk about in just a few minutes, and knowing that it was in like, yeah, it looked like a tomb kind of thing, thought that perhaps that's actually sort of what the real one looks like. No, it's just a hall,
Yeah.
like a student hall or whatever, but they call it the Tomb.
I'm not shocked.
But they apparently used to have an initiation ritual where I don't know the details of it, but they had to masturbate in coffins.
That's what I heard.
Like all together.
I heard that.
And they have now switched that for just revealing their sexual history, because someone who did an AMA, who's a
Nothing.
member, who's a member of Skull and Bones, said
Pledge number 1, I haven't done anything. Pledge number 2, nothing yet. Pledge number 3, fingers crossed. Pledge number 4, Pledge number 5, nada.
I think I had
Fast.
sex. I'm not sure.
Half.
Half. So I found a Reddit AMA with somebody who said that they're a member of Skull and Bones, and somebody asked about that masturbating in coffins thing, and they said that they stopped doing it because it got kind of gay.
What?
But instead, they decided to just tell each other their sexual history, I imagine in some detail, to make it equivalent in embarrassment
Listen.
to the coffin thing.
Oh, there's so many layers to that. So
I know.
the idea, you know, when was that written?
The AMA?
Because gay, right, being like it was getting gay.
Let's see.
Like, is that you know, idiot parlance for when people used to just be like, that's stupid, that's gay.
No, I imagine they mean, okay, it was 12 years ago.
12 years ago.
But I imagine they mean literally gay, because they're talking about a
gay.
bunch of men masturbating together.
Right, in a
So,
coffin.
yeah, so
By the way, like freaks. Like, you find this
Yeah.
out about anybody. Like, you
Right.
don't hire them. You know what I
No,
mean? Like, this is
no.
psychotic behavior.
no, but this is what bonds them as brothers.
Yeah,
or
sure.
whatever.
But like,
I know.
like, not only that, now, in order to combat, by the way, the fear of being perceived as gay, this
Oh.
scare of this,
The worst.
their fix is that they're going to sit in a room together
and
and
tell
lock
each
eyes.
other. Yeah, I know. Look.
When I caressed a fair maiden's leg,
Yeah.
it sent a shiver up my spine. I always think about
Yeah, a bunch of
I was
dudes
thinking
in
about
a
Romeo and Juliet. There's like a whole scene where I think like Mercutio is being like, many fair maidens' porcelain skin has been felt by my fair fingers. And it's like, what if guys talked like this today?
I know. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. This doesn't seem like that much of a fix, because now it's just like a bunch of guys with like half chubs talking about stuff all together in a room anyway.
The fear,
So- I know, the
fear and the worry. Listen, masculinity is
So fragile for some people.
yeah. Just everyone, just chill. Just
Paper thin,
chill,
like a veil.
Chill and don't do this.
Right, a wafer.
It's lame to be man. By the way, so you're in the the Skull and Bones now, right?
Yes.
The year's 2022. You go to Yale, and you hear about the Skull and Bones, and you're like, well, I don't know. I have leadership qualities. Maybe this would be an interesting place to meet people who like really aspire to a hyper specific super type A kind of thing. And
Right.
so many people have been part of this. Like, I'd like to go. And then you hear like, what did they used to make us do? We don't have to do that now, right?
Right.
Ew, I have to tell you about like
Yeah.
parking out on Makeout Point. But then not only that are you like, this is weird. But then you go like, what did the like elders do?
Right.
What? And these are the guys who are gonna like
Why?
mentor me?
These are presidents?
These guys are freaks.
Yes.
Like the day that an alumni shows up and was like, I'm here to I'm here to show off that I've become a captain of industry and impress teenagers,
Right. I know.
blow their minds.
That too.
Pathetic.
It's
Pathetic.
pathetic.
But then all the modern kids are looking at him being like, he crawled into a coffin.
Yeah.
Which is, even just the act of crawling into a coffin.
I know.
What are you doing?
I know.
And then you're just like, and you're the guy that I'm supposed to aspire to be, or I'm supposed to be impressing?
Right.
Sorry, you're a straight creep.
Yeah, you yoinked it in a sweaty coffin.
You've been doinking and yoinking. You got celebratory in a coffin, bro. I don't have to listen to you.
No, even if you are a Supreme Court judge.
Everyone.
I don't respect your authority.
Last Jedi was right. We got to let the past die. Forget the way that we used to do things. This is awful.
This is one of many, for
This is
sure.
awful.
It's so stupid.
Is there any chance that somebody's listening to this right now
Who's offended because they're a skull?
Yeah, or they're like, my grandpa was a grandpa.
God.
You know,
oh, God, maybe.
I genuinely wonder, is there any contingent
you
of
know
people that
what?
are going to be like, are we going to get a message or two this week?
I don't think so. I think it's lost a lot of its mystique and stuff.
It's only occurring to me now. It's only
that
occurring to me now.
we're treading dangerous waters.
Only because I have a history. So years ago, the first podcast I ever did was called Will and Bobby Know Everything. My old writing partner, Bobby. And in one of the episodes, he started going back to Rutgers, and I was talking about, are you going to join clubs? What are you going to do? And I said on the show, I was like, you should join the Rutgers Quidditch team. Because there was a Quidditch team. And I posted it online, being like, LOL, he's not going to join the Quidditch team. And we got hate mail that week.
William, you titled the episode something like "The Captain of the Rutgers Quidditch Team."
Well, because I was joking that was going to be Bobby, that he was going to become the captain.
If anybody's going to come across that, I mean, that is so
He
specific. It was literally, you called out an person.
Individual.
Yeah.
But I was calling out a title, not a guy.
Yeah, but even so.
But he goes, keep my name out your mouth.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, who are you? And he goes, I'm the captain of the Rutgers Quidditch team. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, what, you been searching for yourself? He's had a Google alert for
I could
the
see him
captain?
having a Google alert for Rutgers Quidditch team, and then he sees something come up that's called the captain of the Rutgers Quidditch team. Good Lord.
He did not like the implication that it was somebody other than him.
That was no, I think he was just offended by the whole thing.
He was offended by the whole thing. I
Yeah.
do think it's funny
that
he'd
was
be like,
really mean.
what?
It was mean. That whole thing.
Well, I didn't. What do you mean? What did I do?
I don't know. It was forever ago, but I remember being like, oh, God.
Really?
Because you were calling them dorks and stuff. And then this guy comes across it. It's titled what he literally is the name of the episode.
I don't think it went much further than me going, like, you're going to play Quidditch and you're going to be the captain of the Quidditch team. I don't think it went much further than that.
Yeah.
But you'd think that, I'm sorry, but if you play Quidditch, you got to have a sense of humor about it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, I agree. But, you know.
I implore you, if you play Quidditch, just try to have a sense of humor about it. That's what I'm saying.
It was toof stoof.
It was a shock. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It was a shock to the senses.
That was brutal. But there's enough other Skull and Bones material out there online. I just can't imagine that this is going to be popping up on their radar and we're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll see. Perhaps I'll be eating my
I'm
words.
Curious. Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll find out, I guess. So it seems like really the secretive thing in Skull and Bones is, like you said, their practices behind closed doors, the celebrating in coffins.
That's insane.
It's insane. The rumors of things like them having Martin Van Buren's skull in the tomb and Geronimo's bones, both of which the Reddit AMA guy said are true.
They're Van Buren boys on top.
I know, they're Van Buren boys. And he said, actually, he finds the obsession with death and dead things the least cool thing about Skull and Bones because he thinks it's hokey. But he said that a lot of members are into it, and especially the old guard is very into, like, you know, the imagery of it all.
Yeah, when the old guard was 18, they had some of their wires crossed.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sorry, crawl into this coffin and do what now?
Yeah, all right. I gotta do it. I do want to be the president.
Oh, God. Having... man, how can anyone not consider that a form of like desecration to have Martin Van Buren's skull and Geronimo's bones?
I mean, there are a lot of things that like rich people, especially rich dudes, do that are just, it's messed up, but they just get to do them.
And this, they're comfortable posting their like membership.
Well, I guess
Because now that's a list of people who have crawled into coffins.
That's true. Although
Right?
not anymore. It's a list of people who've sat
ew,
around.
ew. Like, up until what year did that
Yeah.
turn over? Because that's when
I
it
don't
should
know.
start fresh,
Right.
right?
Right.
The frosh.
The frosh. Yeah. Yeah, you got to clean house and just have a whole new skull and bones. No, you can't do that because it's all about the legacy. So there's no way.
It's insane.
It really
Were
is.
These were like, somebody built a coffin.
I guess so. I didn't come across anything
Because
that
the
said...
way that I was told, it was like they went to a crypt. Which is... I'm really not kidding. I'm like... I really feel like that is a crime where you need to be watched.
I think that would absolutely have to be a crime.
It's got to be a crime. Even if it's not written specifically as like crawling into a crypt for the purposes of celebration.
Right.
It's got to be a crime in some way, shape, or form, or at least something that you're like watched for. That's crazy.
It absolutely is. I don't know. I didn't see that. I guess I kind of assumed that they were like brought in as part of the spooky imagery of it or something.
I don't like it.
No, it's not good. We do have a little teeny peek at what was going on with different bones and stuff there, because in 2010, a human skull that was apparently turned into a ballot box for Skull and Bones went on the auction block at Christie's. And so it has like a weird little hinge at the top.
Oh, it's not even just like a slot.
No, look.
Oh, you've got a photo?
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh, so it looks like a classic piratey
Yep.
skull and crossbones. But yeah, they carved open the top of this person's skull so that you could open and shut it. Now, I'm wrestling with something internally.
Okay.
Because on the surface, I like scary stuff.
Sure.
I think skulls are cool.
Yeah.
Skulls and bones are cool. I like all that stuff.
Right.
But when you really come right down to it, do I want a human skull
No.
that I keep? No.
Wait, didn't this come up on the show recently?
Very
what
recently.
was it?
I said that I want to donate my body to the arts so that my skull can be on a set somewhere.
Oh, right.
I think that's
Was there something
cool.
where you said you would have somebody's skull? Does that ring a bell?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. Tell him
Yeah.
Steve Dave has the skull of what's known as the Prussian kissing devil.
Yes.
I've seen it many times.
Yes, as have I.
I was actually there quite recently.
Yep.
Looking right through it.
Yeah.
I think for me, there's the angle of I'm the dead guy.
Mm-hmm.
And in that sense, there's an interesting side to it where it almost feels like continuing on or continued acknowledgement or import or involvement in creating or something.
Right.
But if you're just an organization and you're like, we found Martin Van Buren's head
I
and
know.
kept it,
It just
then
feels
you're
gross.
freaks and creeps. I feel like there needs to be like, and by the way, like with some reverence, you don't cut the head open and turn it into a ballot box.
I know.
It's
I mean,
deranged
unless-
behavior under the guise of being like, it's funny, it's cool, fits the vibe, and it's like safety in numbers of being like, well, I don't know, Douglas thought it was gonna be neat,
Right.
and it's like collectively you're all
Awful.
awful. I don't even want to say like insane or anything like. It's just like you're being lame. It is hokey, and you're like taking.
Right. No, it's gross. And I think especially in the context of these people who just kind of want to help each other social climb at a certain point in their lives without a ton of merit except for knowing each other, it does cast having like scary imagery in a light that feels more sinister, and not in a cool sinister way,
Yeah.
and just like a total lack of respect and reverence.
Yeah, that's
sort
it.
of
Lack
way.
of respect.
Yeah.
If it were, would it be different if Martin Van Buren had said, "Let my skull
my skull."
oversee all proceedings"?
I have to
and
admit-
behind glass.
I haven't looked into it.
Yeah.
Perhaps he did. I have no idea.
maybe he
I'm gonna
didn't.
go and say Geronimo probably didn't.
Right.
And also, because this has been going on for a bajillion years, maybe it's a former Skull and Bones member who said, take my skull and put a little hinge in it for your ballot box. I have no idea.
But I have to say, for me, that does feel different.
Oh,
than
it
the
totally
idea-
feels different.
right?
I have no idea if that's true, is what
yeah,
I'm saying.
totally.
And it doesn't seem like they would really care either way.
Right.
So I'm not trying to really give them an out, but maybe.
No, these people are insane.
It's very gross. So let's see, some other tidbits from that Reddit AMA, which is linked in the show notes, is that unsurprisingly, the older members of Skull and Bones, while he was in it, well, I guess you're in it for life, but he said that the people who were older than him weren't so thrilled about women joining or the diversity that they intentionally started to cultivate later in years, probably also in or later than the 90s. And I wondered, like, how old does it mean this old guard is?
Yeah.
And so is there this big fancy room where it's like young college hunks who are doing strange rituals and traditions, and they're like 95-year-olds looking on in tops and tails?
Or even
I would-
older.
Yeah. Maybe they gain immortality.
I've been here since time immemorial.
Right.
Martin Van Buren's skull on the wall starts talking.
They're apparently given a sizable parting gift of money when they graduate.
right.
And he said that it's not enough to like make you rich, but it's definitely substantial. And yeah, that's pretty much it. My big finisher was the coffin thing, but we already did that.
It is just so. That is the big finisher.
Oh, it certainly is.
That is crazy. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with the idea of having some sort of a group where you all look out for each other.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Like there are like artists collectives and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's
when
different.
you start going like men only,
Mm-hmm.
no diversity. Yeah, get in that coffin. Like, then it's just, I'm sorry. There's a mixture of being lame and conniving, and
It doesn't feel good.
it doesn't feel good at all.
No.
And it's kids that are. Listen, how dumb do you think you were at 18?
Extremely.
Right? I feel like anything pre-30, it's real rough times.
Yeah.
So at 18, like, they say your brain's not fully developed until you're 25,
Right.
right? At 18, when somebody says, hey, get in that coffin and we'll make your dreams come true, like, you're being taken advantage of is the case. The elders who continue to perpetuate the system are the real problem. And the kids, you gotta rebel. I'm
Yeah.
glad that they changed the coffin. I'm glad that they're, not being exclusive in terms of like no women.
Right.
And how about only
White people.
white coffin boys.
Right.
It's just, but it still is just crazy.
It's absolutely
It's
nuts
crazy.
that this is a thing. So before we move on and talk about the fictionalized version of Skull and Bones, known as The
The
Skulls,
skulls.
let's talk about Guides the Unknown's Patreon.
Yeah, which is something of a secret society.
That's true, although it's open to all.
But yeah, anybody who wants to be a member can be a member.
Yeah,
Let's
obviously.
be clear about that.
So if you go to patreon.com/GTTUpod, we have a number of different tiers that you can choose from, and you can get up to a weekly bonus show. So every single week, there is a flip side of Guides the Unknown where we do a whole other thing that comes out every single Monday.
Yeah, so for example, this past Monday, we just released an episode, it's out there right this second, where we watched clips from the Ring franchise. Well, more than just the Ring franchise. We watched clips from Scary Movie,
Yeah.
where they make fun of the Ring, which in some cases were baffling.
Oh, yeah.
Baffling.
Yes.
We also did a big diatribe on the guy who played Doofy in Scary Movie,
Oh, my God, I forgot about that.
who claims that he's going on tour as Ghostface.
That's right. I completely forgot.
Isn't
Yeah.
that weird? And we just recorded it, but this Monday we're back into the video game Fatal Frame Maiden of Black Water. I gotta tell you, I think it's genuinely my favorite episode since we first started playing the game.
Yeah, I
We
do
found
too.
out a whole new mechanic for Fatal Frame that lets you see little like horror movies.
Yeah.
Super fun. That comes out on Monday. And those are just a drop in the bucket. We've got dozens upon dozens of bonus episodes that you get access to the second that you sign up. And if you join up to our Demon tier that starts at $13 or more a month, you get access to, like Kristen said, a brand new show every single Monday.
Yeah, we also have things that don't even get lumped into that sort of like weekly bonus show category. We have other gameplays, we have commentary tracks for all 5 of the Scream movies, and everybody who joins our Discord at any our Patreon at any level gets access to our Discord, where other Guides to the Unknown listeners are talking about stuff every single day on a ton of different topics. It's divided into a bunch of different chat rooms, and it's super cool. So you can find all of that stuff at patreon.com/GTTUpod. And thank you so much to everybody who is already there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
We've also got what we refer to as a secret society, by the way, on Facebook.
Yeah.
We've got a Guide to the Unknown group.
Yeah, we do.
So if you go to facebook.com/groups/GTTUpod, you can request to join. I've denied people who look like spam.
Oh, okay.
I've denied people.
Well, there are questions you have to answer and say that you understand the rules or whatever.
Right, yeah.
So, if you agree to all of our rules, you'll be let right in.
Yeah, so you can join the Facebook group, and then if you back us, like more specifically on Patreon, you get into the exclusive club. Mm-hmm. That's the one that's like, I've never really gone to clubs. But isn't there like a cool room?
Like the VIP room?
That's the VIP lounge.
Yeah, it is. It's
That's
the
the
VIP
lounge.
lounge.
The seats are plush, lush.
It's a little more poppin'. It's
is.
much more active than the Facebook group.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the skulls. Will, have you seen the skulls?
I wanted to watch it for this episode, and I just didn't get to it.
It's fine.
Okay.
It has a paltry 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, no.
Which is quite low.
I think it's better than some of its sequels.
Maybe. I haven't seen the sequels, but I know you'll give us a little wrap-up of them. People in the movie have crazy names. Like Paul Walker plays Caleb Mandrake.
Whoa.
Coach Craig T. Nelson plays his father, Lytton Mandrake.
Lytton?
Yes. And William Peterson from Manhunter and CSI plays Ames Leverett.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
There's a Detective Sparrow in the movie.
Ooh, lofty.
What's his name? Shooter McGavin plays Martin Lombard.
Oh, wow. What does he eat for breakfast?
And then weirdly, the only female who's really in the cast only has a first name. It's just Chloe.
Oh, so this is an exclusive club too, being in the movie The Skulls.
I know. I guess they were going for a meta sort of thing.
Yeah.
They say the word gentleman so much in this movie because the Skulls are like, an elite group of classy guys. So at one point, someone says, "What are we waiting for, gentlemen?" And is immediately followed by, "Excuse me, gentlemen," like right away.
That's when you're writing and you rhythmically sometimes you just go like this word is used back to back. We have to cut it.
No.
It made it through.
They prefer not to. So
We'd like to add more.
Yeah. So it stars Joshua Jackson, and he's like a townie in this Connecticut town where the Y College is.
Okay.
And he doesn't have a lot of money, and he wants to get into law school. But at one point, he is looking at a piece of paper that literally says law school. What the hell do you call it? Not fee. Law
tuition.
School tuition. It just says law school tuition. He looks down with his eyes. $45,000. I think it was 45,000.
Wow.
So he's hard up for money, and he's talking to his friends. So Hill Harper is in it from later CSI New York. So there's a weird CSI connection.
Yeah.
He and Leslie Bibb are their two best friends. Who plays Chloe? She was on that show Popular on the CW. Some people out there might know it. Wife or maybe longtime partner of Sam Rockwell.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, they're all best friends. And he's like, I got to get into the Skulls, so I got to pay for college or, law school. They never really explain, like, how being in the Skulls helps you with that.
He is going to get money.
Say.
So he has to join the secret society to get to college?
Well, to have money to pay for it.
But don't you have to get enrolled?
He's
to
in college
join
already.
Okay.
He goes
he
to
wants
college
to.
at Yale. He just wants to get into the Skulls.
Understood.
Excuse me, I may not have said
okay.
that. But yeah, they just talk like, everybody knows that you become rich when you're in the Skulls,
Right.
but it doesn't really make sense to me. So he is a rower on the row team, and he's like really good at it. So they do tap him for the Skulls. And he gets in, and like the way he's waiting for a call that is supposed to come by midnight. Somebody calls, and they're like, "Are you ready to be reborn?" And then
See, this stuff sounds awesome.
it's actually awesome to begin with. I would say by like 45 minutes or something, I was totally tuned out and I had to keep rewinding because I just kept zoning out and then I wouldn't know what was happening. But this beginning stuff was totally rad. So they're like, "Are you ready to be reborn? Go to the payphone on 4th or whatever." So he's like, "Bleh!" Like he puts down his pizza that he was eating with his friends, like runs. And then they say, like, "Ah, very good. Go to the Astro Lab, but lose the bike." Like they're calling it the astrology lab, the Astro Lab.
Oh, they actually say that?
Yeah.
The Astro Lab.
Yeah, and
okay.
and he runs to the astrology lab. It's like weird stuff like that. And then there's something at the Astro Lab in a cup and they're like, "Drink it." So he drinks it. He blacks out and he wakes up inside a coffin and is just able to open the coffin. He's not locked in. And there's like a room with a ton of water and it's almost like concrete lily pads all over the room. And then coffins are on top of those. And it's like all the guys who have been tapped.
I'm not kidding. That sounds like Fatal Frame.
I know, it does.
Yeah.
It's all the guys who are tapped, like, "Whoa, where are we?" And somebody's like, "I gotta get myself some of that," like whatever, like they drank. And there's one coffin that's not opening, and they're like, "Oh no!" So they like knock on it, and they're like, "Hey, are you okay?" And like Paul Walker pops out, and I think that's when he's like, "Whoa, I gotta get me some of that," because he's like the hot stud guy.
Oh, is Paul Walker supposed to be like a badass?
Yeah.
Sir, can I have more juice? I don't want to
The most badass thing you can possibly
write
say.
a whole movie where there's some like idiot.
He's just like, he's not really supposed to be badass exactly, but he's like super handsome and like super rich.
Yeah.
Like that kind of guy. So, in order to, pass to the next level, there's like a riddle that they have to solve, and it's like stealing a mascot from another secret society that's a snake on top of a thing, hijinks ensue. That's when all the gentleman stuff happened.
Gentlemen. Yes,
'Cause
gentlemen.
There's a moat, like a teeny moat around this house with no drawbridge. And like, let's say the secret society is called the Serpents. I don't know what it is, but they're like, "No moat. These serpents are sick." And so they like jump over the moat to get to the door.
What?
To steal this
How
thing.
do the serpents get to class every day?
I know. I don't know.
You constantly have to come. You just be like, "I have to go out.
I have to leave.
Oh God.
Can somebody give me a boost?
I need help."
Yeah. So he and Paul Walker work together to steal this snake thing from the top of the building, and then they fall off the building into the moat. So now they are bonded through this experience. They're very close. And also, in the process of becoming skulls, you get a soulmate in the skulls.
Okay.
And this is somebody who you always have their back. They always have your back. You are like brothers now, more than brothers. And they also say that the laws of the skulls supersede the laws of the outside world.
Okay.
So the soulmates brand each other with a little skull on the wrist, which is immediately covered up with no healing time by a fancy Breitling watch that everybody is gifted.
Okay.
So like what looks like an extremely painful branding, they're just like, "Ah," and then they put like a metal watch over it right away. No Band-Aid.
I've seen Jackass 2, I think, where Bam Margera gets hologram branding.
Yes,
Yeah.
it can't feel good.
No.
So Joshua Jackson's outside friends are like, "Ugh, have fun with your new friends," or whatever. To tell you the truth, I feel Hill Harper takes it extremely personally, like instantly, in a way that doesn't make sense, because he knows that Joshua Jackson has been aspiring to this for like a
He's
long
gotten
time.
his dream.
And for some reason, this like throws him, and he's like very pissed about it. Also, Hill Harper is working on the newspaper. They don't call it the Rumpus or anything. I don't know what they call it. But he goes to investigate the skulls. He somehow gets in and is taking pictures and stuff and crosses paths with Caleb Mandrake.
My God.
Who's like, "What are you doing here?" And the next thing we know, Hill Harper is hung in his room, and they have framed him, or they've set it up to look like he killed himself. So Joshua Jackson now not so hot on the skulls. Because he has a feeling that something was up, because he finds Caleb Mandrake's special journal that they were all gifted among Hill Harper's possessions.
Oh, well, that's pretty much a dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway.
That's a pretty big leap from college hijinks of like, steal this statue from the other building.
Right.
All right, we're going to murder somebody.
Remember, the laws of the skulls supersede all other.
You're right.
And secrecy reigns.
I forgot rules 1 and 2.
That's right. So, we're like, okay, Paul Walker killed this guy, Caleb Mandrake. This is not good.
Yeah.
So now Joshua Jackson is like kind of going rogue and trying to figure out what happened and trying to expose it. The soulmates have a ritual, which is called like the Revelations or something like that, where they get locked together in this little cage and dropped down into the floor. And they can ask each other questions that they absolutely have to answer honestly. And so he's like, did you kill Will or whatever? And he's like, no. And, you know, just more and more pissed Joshua Jackson is getting. We end up finding out because we're able to steal some surveillance footage, because they realize that everything that's done in the skulls, because they're such control freaks, is recorded. So then...
Seems like a major liability.
It really does. I mean, they try to protect it with bodyguards and stuff, and there's like a whole gambit with Joshua Jackson and his old friends from like the wrong side of the tracks.
Oh, they have like hijinks.
They help him out to like steal the footage.
Like the Goonies, one of them has like slippery goo and a belt buckle.
Not that, but there is one point. So there'll be events where the skulls wear like, what's it called? Like tops and tails. Like they're all dressed up. And then I guess they keep their outfit like in the tomb. So there's an area where it's just like all of their dorky suits line the walls. And there is one point where there's a suit and it moves a little bit. And one of his friends from high school is like, I'm in.
Ooh, are they from high school?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so they're like kids.
Oh, no. His friends from when he was in high
Damn
school.
it.
No,
I
no,
want
no.
them to be high school kids who like, this is their first like taste of college. And so, yeah, they are like, one of them's like always eating like Skittles or something, you know, like there's something to diminish them to make them seem like they're really young.
No, they're just like ruffians. They live all together in like an artsy house, and they're like, I miss your long hair to him and stuff.
Right.
You know, he like used to be.
This hasn't existed for a while, but I feel like there used to be in the 90s movies where like little kids would end up going on some sort of an adventure, and it might take them to like a college.
Yeah.
Where they'd see like a girl who's about to undress for her boyfriend. They go like, ew, gross.
I
Right?
know. I do love that. Yeah.
Ew, barf.
Ew.
Like,
yeah.
and they're just so innocent.
Gross. Where's her shirt?
Yeah, exactly. That kind
Yeah.
of thing. I have not seen that kind of thing
haven't either.
in such a long time. I can't even tell you what it's from.
Me neither.
But
But it's out there.
Yeah, gross wears her shirt. That they don't make them like that.
They don't make them like they used to. It's absolutely true.
True.
So basically, they find out that actually Caleb Mandrake didn't kill Will. He was involved. I mean, like, so he was he saw that Will was in there taking footage. He's like, hey, give me that footage, or whatever, and is like chasing him. And Will falls off of a structure and like breaks his neck.
Oh, so it was an accident.
It was an accident. But then he calls his dad. He's like, Dad, I really messed up. And his dad is like the head of the skulls. He's like one of the heads. It's Coach. And he's like, I gotta call 911. He's like, no, don't. I'm going to take care of this. And he sends his little lackey, Shooter McGavin, to like, clean up the body and everything. And it turns out that Will was actually still alive, and Shooter McGavin broke his neck.
Oh my God.
And then hung him and did that whole thing. So Joshua Jackson knows this now. He has the tape. He brings it to the cops. But remember, the skulls are everywhere.
They're everywhere.
So by the time he brings the tape to the cops, somehow the tapes have gotten switched and they don't see it. And he is being framed for having killed his best friend, because they must have gotten into an argument. He was jealous that Joshua Jackson is in the skulls.
And he was turning his back on the organization.
Right.
So they're going to take him out.
Exactly. So even though Will Graham...
Somebody switched the tapes. Yeah. That tape is lying.
Yeah.
That's what a guy says at the end of Blair Witch too.
Oh, yeah,
It's like
that's right.
spitting.
He's losing it.
Yeah.
Will Graham and Coach have a rivalry. And Will Graham wants to take Coach down, so he's going to help out Joshua Jackson. And
It's weird that you're calling William Peterson
yeah,
Gil Grissom and you're calling Craig
well,
T.
I called
Nelson
him Will
Coach.
Graham.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're not calling Joshua Jackson Pacey.
That's true. That is confusing. I'm sorry. It won't be
Please,
stopping.
don't use the actor names, use the character names.
In the movie?
No.
Oh, okay.
The things they're best known for. Will
Okay.
Graham,
Yeah.
Coach, and Pacey.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't even think Will Graham is probably what he's best known for. It's probably Gil Grissom.
Gil Grissom.
Yeah. It's too late. I'm already this far in.
It's too late.
So, yeah, like he helps him get away, and basically things come to a head when there is some sort of like skulls party going on, and Joshua Jackson comes in, and he's like, Pursuant to Rule 19 of the Skull's Handbook, I challenge you, Caleb Mandrake, to a duel.
No way.
He knows by now that Coach actually killed his friend. I'm not totally sure what he's trying to accomplish here with the duel, because it's a duel to the death. It's using old-timey pistols, like that are like, half of an oval sort of shape.
Okay, yeah.
And like
they may not even work. They're so old.
I know. So I think he's just trying to put him on the spot and get him to tell the truth. Because now I think about it, they're facing off and they're pointing guns at each other, and Joshua Jackson's like, tell them the truth or whatever, so that he would like out his dad and tell everybody. And then, Coach is like, do it, son, pull the trigger or whatever, and gets in the middle of them. And he's like, well, if you won't do it, I will, I think. And then Paul Walker, Caleb Mandrake, shoots his dad.
Shoots his own father.
So that he won't shoot Pacey.
Now that's love.
That's love.
Soulmates.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to think.
Soulmates. They embrace.
I'm trying to think. How does it? I mean, that's basically how the movie ends. I'm trying to think of like.
Start rolling.
I mean, kind of. I guess Joshua Jackson.
That was born.
I guess.
In the halls of Skull and Bones.
I guess Joshua Jackson leaves the Skulls and, I don't know, goes off with Chloe, and I guess everything's okay.
Okay.
That's basically the end of it. I'm not sure.
Sounds like a happy ending. It's nice.
Yeah, I suppose so.
It sounds nice.
Sounds
like a nice movie.
It's a nice movie. It made it to Roger Ebert's most hated list of movies in 2005, which I think is really funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
What did you learn about the Skull 2 and the Skull 3?
So the Skull 2 had some info, and then almost nobody's talking about Skulls 3 or whatever it's called. But Skulls 2 only came out a couple of years later, and similarly, I'm just going to spoil everything.
Yeah.
I saw reviews of Skulls 2 where people were like, this is just the same thing as the first movie.
Okay.
But I hadn't.
But just without the celebrities?
I guess.
Probably.
I didn't know the plot of the movie until you just told me.
Right.
The Skulls 2 is the same thing. So there's a guy named Ryan.
Maybe it's like a money laundering thing.
Yeah, maybe. They just had to make it. The new main character is Ryan. He is being recruited into the Skulls, but he doesn't take it seriously. He's got an older brother who used to be in the Skulls and is now a high-powered lawyer out there. So it's almost like he's inheriting something. He doesn't value it. He doesn't really care about this.
Oh, okay.
During an initiation ceremony, something goes awry, and Ryan is accidentally stabbed during the initiation. Joke. It was a prank. Ryan's not taking this seriously. He was making a mockery of the Skull's initiation ceremony.
I can't imagine they like that.
Quote, not amused, the senior leadership makes him clean the attic of the Skull's tomb. You must clean the attic. Which is lame.
Probably quite dusty.
There he witnesses Matt Hutchinson and the field hockey captain Diana Rollins. One thing leads to another. She falls off the roof to her death.
Oh, boy.
He, Ryan, the main character, freaks out. He's just seen a woman basically killed, even if it was an accident. He rushes to alert the Skulls. They say that he must have been mistaken. Now, here's just a full-on quote of what happens next. Ryan later goes to his brother Greg, who used to be in the Skulls, to talk about the incident, believing that the Skulls have covered up Diana Rollins' death. Body was never found. And they said, you didn't see what you thought you saw.
Yeah, right.
Greg agrees to give Ryan a key to the tomb so that he can investigate further, but this later turns out to be a ploy. Greg, his very own older brother, gave him the key to the tomb to lure Ryan in.
Oh, no.
Where he is then confronted by like members of the Skulls.
Because it was like a betrayal to even bring this up, I'm sure.
Potentially.
Okay.
Potentially. He's told the supposed truth about what was really going on. He's fed a story by the leader, Parker, that due to Ryan's prank where he pretended to be stabbed during initiation, his sophomoric joke, the Skulls staged Diana Rollins falling off the roof, as they had staged years earlier the death of a former member's roommate, which is a reference to the movie you just described.
Yeah.
This was all to test to see if Ryan would remain loyal to the Order and not go to the authorities.
Okay.
Only deal with it inside the organization.
That's
which
right.
I guess he did.
They have
He
their
alerted
own
the
laws.
Skulls. They said, you must have been seeing things. And then he told his brother, who's a member of the Skulls.
Right.
So he never went to the cops.
Yeah, that's true. He did kind of adhere to the rules.
So it's all just reinforcing, we're testing you, we're watching, whatever. That night, his older brother calls and says, oh, by the way, that Diana Rollins, whose death we faked, she was killed in a skiing accident.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Believable.
Ryan he knows that this is all hornswoggle.
Yeah.
He says he starts digging into this with some friends. He wants the death certificate. He is certain that the coroner's report would have to reveal that Diana didn't die in a ski accident somewhere else. She died days earlier. The time of death would give away some of the truth. So they find out that the coroner was bribed by the Skulls.
Okay.
They hired him a sex worker in exchange for him changing the death certificate times.
Okay.
Now, what I wrote is, couldn't he just hire a sex worker himself if he was in it? Who's going to be like, I won't do... Whoa.
Well.
Va va voom. I'll
Perhaps they
give you
have
whatever you want.
access to the most elite of the elite.
Yeah. Why couldn't it just be that he was also in the Skulls?
Yeah.
This
that is-
convoluted, like,
They probably just needed a
we
way
brought
to like.
Tracy to him.
There might be a lady in it. You know what I mean? Who's like sexy. They
Right.
might just have needed to get like a girl in there for a minute.
It's just a
for
sexy
appeal.
beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
They found a girl who would do their movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, the coroner, did change the death certificate. He also kept the original for insurance.
Aha.
So
Smart coroner.
the Skulls wasn't powerful enough to stop him. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't cover it up fully. Anyway.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Why didn't they like burn the death certificate or something?
It's bizarre. So he gets the report. He reveals the truth that Diana Rollins was killed at the Skull and Bones, Skulls, whatever, instead of the skiing thing. Back at the Skull's tomb, Skull's chairman, George Milford, is brought in. He states that shame and disgrace have been brought to the order by this scandal. Believing that Ryan will be expelled from the order, the leader of the club, this chapter of it, Parker, egotistically states that he believes casting out Ryan is a smart move, only to discover he's the one being expelled.
Oh boy.
Switcheroo.
See?
Parker is seized by members of the order, and his brand of membership is removed from his wrist as he screams out in pain.
Ooh.
Ryan casts himself out of the order. The final scene shows him and his friend Kelly kissing in her car.
Okay, so he's not doing so bad, I guess.
Another happy ending.
Yeah.
I have a review from Amazon here from Doris. 1 out of 5 stars. I really liked Skulls until I got hold of your 3-disc set.
Oh.
Almost all the reviews are like,
About
received
the
my disc
physical.
on a timely manner. 5 stars. Paid $20 for it, and half the movie had no sound.
Oh,
The other
God.
half was all pixelated. Teach me to find the bargain in a barrel.
Oh, fool me once.
Sorry I cannot be a return customer, but your sale is not a sale. Doris, Washington State. It's
I
like
can't disagree based on what she's saying.
signed off like a journalist.
That sale is not a sale.
And here's all I have for Skulls 3.
Okay.
'Cause again, there's like nobody's talking about this. But
Right.
it came out in 2004. The tagline for by the way, the tagline for Skulls 2 was called like, it just said like the sexiest movie of the summer. Like, had nothing about plot at all. Had nothing about what this might be.
Yeah.
So the tagline for Skulls 3 is blackmail, lies, murder. How far will she go to fit in?
Oh.
The plot of this sounds like it mirrors real life.
A gal trying to get into the Skulls?
Yes. Taylor, her name is. Her father is a congressman. Her brother took his own life when he was denied entry to the Skulls. So it's very important that she get in.
Yes.
Her father seems to look down on her because she's a girl. He wishes that he still had a son, essentially. So she wants to become a member of the Skulls, but they don't allow men until, she gets an idea. She goes and looks through the university's bylaws and finds a rule that states organizations cannot discriminate based on gender.
Aha!
Aha, a loophole.
This will get me in.
It's just weird to me, and it seems like this happened in real life too,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like, this is a secret society that does shady stuff all the time.
Right.
But somebody finds a legal loophole, and they're like, we've been bested. Like, they don't just find another way to obfuscate or just be like, no, I'm not gonna.
Right.
Or be like, fine, we're gonna start a new organization. You can have the skulls.
No, there's like, damn it, they found out.
We're the toe bones.
They just give up. The toe bones.
Anyway, she is then framed for murder. She gets
Someone's always...
she gets framed for a murder, and it turns out that it's all about trying to put pressure on her father, the congressman.
Oh. Yeah, trying to get to the elder statesman through a young buck.
I think they have other dirt on the elder statesman, to be honest, that they could be using. Anyway, nobody liked this. And there hasn't been another movie in 18 years.
Well, you know what? It's time.
Maybe it is.
I
Listen,
think it is.
I will say,
How often is it that cicadas come back or something?
every, 14, 17 years, something like that.
I believe a new Skulls movie comes back every 18.
Me think it time. I
Me think it time. I like that.
I do think that this is an idea that is interesting. I like stories about institutions. Right? Like, I had a secret society in Blackwood. I like these sort of like people are doing things under the surface that we are not allowed to know or just don't get or wouldn't understand even if we did get access.
Right.
And certainly these things exist. Secret societies are everywhere. We just looked at one this week.
Yeah.
But there are a ton, quite frankly. I was looking into other secret societies and found them to be a bit dry.
A little dry as a bone?
A little dusty.
As a skull and bone?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they exist and they're challenging. I do think that the idea of almost like what you are freaked out by partially with Texas Chainsaw, where it's like no matter where you go,
Right.
you think you're running away, but no, it turns out that the person who runs this shop is a member of the family.
Yeah. I mean,
Skull and Bones, like a secret society like that, like they really could be anywhere. And running
Yes.
for help means you're running to people who are in some sort of position of power.
Right.
Right? Like the police have power. The dean of the college has power.
yeah.
Who's to say that they were not a member? And who
Right.
would you know who to trust?
And
You
are
know?
they going to use that power fairly?
Exactly.
Or is it all going to be in service of that secret society?
Because what do they have to lose? Like a
Right.
big thing that we sort of, outlined but didn't really outright state is like the like hop in a coffin and celebrate
Yes,
is about collateral.
Right. To have dirt on the person.
If you turn your back on us, we will release this.
Right.
Which, by the way, it's like, yeah, you made me do that.
Yeah, I know.
And,
I
like-
didn't just do that and you caught me.
Look what this guy thinks is cool. But like enough people do that, and it's like, wait. How come we've seen this similar footage so much? That's the same coffin.
It's starting to seem less unique to each individual person and less damning.
Yes, you'd think that it would start to reflect poorly on the organization, not the individual. But
Right.
whatever.
Okay. I mean, at this point, maybe it's just to bond.
Maybe. Do you think that the grandsires of the Skull and Bones these days are like, kids today have it easy?
Yeah.
I
They probably.
I wish I didn't have to do that.
Only I got to just tell my sexual history to everybody.
Genuinely, they must be like, I really wish I didn't have to do that.
I'm sure.
What a nightmare.
I'm sure a couple of them were like, the good old days.
But at least I'm the founder of Hostess.
Yeah, right.
Like,
The maker of ding dongs?
yeah, sometimes I
You think
regret.
they're lumped into this?
Sometimes I regret my past and what I did to join the Skull and Bones, and then I look in the mirror and I say, "Damn it, Keebler, get it together."
I can't believe that my dear Keebler elves are tied up in all this.
E.L. Fudge.
No.
You fought to get here.
I can't think about that guy in the coffin.
Allegedly.
Of course.
I'm not making any claims
Of course.
about Keebler or E.L. Fudge.
No, we cast no aspersions
No.
here. Well, we hope you enjoyed that. We've opened the coffin and released all the secrets. Maybe some other stuff that was in there.
Holy guacamole.
Yikes. You can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/GTTUpod. Like we said before, if you would like to support the show and also get a bunch of stuff in return. You could also check out gttupod.com, which is our website, and you can find links to all of our previous shows, the link to the Facebook Secret Society that we mentioned before, our merch, info about advertising with us, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, the Guide to the Unknown Universe is expansive.
It is.
It is what you make it.
That's true.
So enjoy.
Yes.
You can also follow us individually online.
Yep. I'm at Chillin' Kristen.
I am at The Myth Traveler.
And you can follow our social media at GTTU Pod.
Oh, very true. Yes, do that. So we'll be back next week for more interesting, spooky stories. I think we're going to go down some rabbit holes.
Yeah.
It seems if I'm picking up what you were putting down
I think
earlier.
so.
So anyway, we'll see you next time, everybody. Until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the netherworld go we.
Do you think
Right.
in like a boardroom, ever like two CEOs have a conversation, and then one goes like, "By the way, I'm in the Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
Should try to drop it for power," and the other one goes, "As am I," and then they sort of lock eyes and go like, "Oh."
Just feel deflated.
It made me remember.
What did we do?